You mentioned Al Heyman being nice to you when he wants something. Do you think
Everyone's like that. It's not, that's not a criticism of Al Heyman. If he wants something, he's going to deal with you.
Okay.
If he doesn't, you don't want to.
Do you think he'd be nice to you if you maybe negotiated a Subriel Matias, Cruz, Puerto Rico, Mexico unification fight?
But that is the perfect example, right? How good is that fight?
Very good.
I mean, by the way, firstly, he's got to beat Liam Paro, who's a really good fighter, and I feel a bit bad for Liam because everyone's talking about Subriel, the bogeyman of the division, the most, Liam can really fight. Firstly, if Matias was to win, Subriel Matias against Isaac Cruz is an absolute thriller. Mexico against Puerto Rico. Do you know how easy it is for me to go to PBC and say, I don't even know if they've got Cruz actually wrapped up, but I presume they have. If
With
they
Sean
have,
Gibbons.
yeah. So I would say, guys, let's do a co-promotion. It's on Amazon Prime and on DAZN, right? It's not a massive pay-per-view, but it's it's going to do a good gate. It's going to do a good crowd. We'll share the pay-per-view revenue for the fighters. Done.
There you go.
Do you know what I mean? But I just don't think they unless they get to a point where they have to start doing that, I don't think they're going to do it. But if Matias comes through, I mean, Hitchins could be mandatory as well, but that's a massive unification fight. Mexico against Puerto Rico. And it's such a good fight.
Can't think of a bigger Puerto Rico-Mexico fight in boxing right
Belanga Munguia,
Yeah.
Belanga. But again, in terms of 50-50 matchups for world championships, that is a thrilling fight.
now. For sure. I know Anthony Joshua is the talk of the town in the heavyweight division again, and you're talking about big fights for him, right? But I know he's got a mandatory in Filip Hrgovic. How likely is that fight next week?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a mandatory till the championship becomes vacant, and at the moment it's not vacant. I'm pretty sure that AJ's next fight will be for the world championship, whether that's against Hrgovic or if Hrgovic fights in the meantime, or against the Fury Usyk winner. We know they have two fights, but His Excellency likes to make the biggest fights in the world, and it don't get any bigger than Fury against AJ if Fury was to beat Usyk. So AJ's firing on all cylinders. Like right now, we fancy him against any heavyweight in the world. He's really on it. But let's see. All eyes on May the 18th in Riyadh for the undisputed fight.
What do you think is different about AJ now compared to, let's say, when he first burst onto the scene with the Klitschko fights?
The most remarkable thing about the early wins in the AJ career, Klitschko included, was he really didn't know not what he was doing, but he was such a raw fighter. Everything was built off just brute strength and punch power and speed. Over the years, he's worked so hard to develop himself as a more all-round fighter, and he got criticism because he was changing his style. So his footwork is brilliant compared to how it used to be. His jab is fantastic. His defence is on another level. But he probably lost a little bit of confidence because he was doing all those things and he was searching for the right training team, and people said, he's not as aggressive as he used to be. True, because I think he was more conscious about the changes he was making, and now he believes in himself as an all-round fighter. So he's got, we always know the punch power is incredible. He's got the violence back. He's got the belief back. He's got the game plan down to a T with Ben Davison. But now all the things that he's learnt over the last 3 or 4 years, he's incorporating to become a complete fighter. And sometimes experience and just understanding what the game's about puts you in great stead. That's why a lot of the fighters on this card are all young and they're learning. But sometimes you see a young fighter who just becomes more experienced and takes a couple of defeats, but then comes back as a much better fighter because they just understand what the sport's about. Klitschko did it when he got stopped.
Yeah.
But AJ is much more exciting than Vladimir Klitschko, even though you do what you can to win. But I wasn't sure whether I'd see this kind of violence back from AJ. And when I saw him hit pads with Ben in the change room before the Wilding fight and before the Ngannou fight, it was the scariest thing I've ever seen in watching boxing. I've never seen anything like it, and I'm just watching it going, fuck me. And I saw it against Wilding, and obviously we saw it against Ngannou, and that's why I believe he beats Tyson Fury right now. But see if Fury can come through Usyk on May the 18th.
We'll see how it goes. Last question, anyway, I'll let you go on. Jai Pattaya, the Ring Magazine cruiserweight champion. How hard is it to make fights with the Ben Shalom boxer champions? Because
it's hard when you got someone that's so good.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's really hard to make a fight when they think the guy will lose. unless the money's massive.
Yeah.
So do you want, and because they're building a company, they don't want to lose one of their major commodities. We had it with Dalton Smith against Adam Azim. Like, it's so boring. Like, that fight got ordered, but because they're saying Adam Azim is a world beater, he's this, he's that, and then you get the fight ordered with Dalton Smith and they pull out because they said, we're not cashing Adam Azim out. What do you mean cash him out? So you're saying you can't win the fight? Oh, he's only 21. So hang on a minute. You just said he was ready to fight anyone in the world, you know? And the same, we all know, with all due respect to Chris Billam-Smith, who's a really good fighter and a lovely guy, he could never beat Jai Opetaia. Never, right? So the only way you take that fight is for a massive payday, because you're giving away your fighter, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
So, I've been in loads of fights before where I thought, I'm not sure we can win, but it's a life-changing opportunity for a fighter, and anything's possible. But, you know, for Jai, I see him move into heavyweight. Firstly, he rematches Bradis on May the 18th. Great fight on the Fury Usyk card. But we do want unifications. Listen, I think a unification that would be great to make is Zerdo against Opetaia. And obviously with the DAZN platform, you know, maybe a big fight in Saudi. We did the Bivol Zerdo fight in Abu Dhabi previously.